Did you? Yes, exactly. Okay, rolling.
Okay, so we will call the public hearing of January 3rd to order. It's 6:50 p.m. We'll do a roll call. Mayor Allison.
Here. Here.
Tom Baylor.
He's muted, David Allison.
Now I just got you. I'm here. Hello.
Can you hear us?
Now I can.
We're doing roll call. Mayor Allison.
Here.
Tom Baylor.
Here.
Kathy Sherman. Here. Casey Kinsman is absent. Wendy Rainey. Here. Ann Schaefer. Here. Kristen Carpenter.
Here.
Ken Jones.
Here.
Okay, so this is a public hearing for two ordinances. Ordinance 1213 is an ordinance of the City Council of Cordova, Alaska, authorizing the transfer of $132,233 from the General Reserve Fund, Permanent Fund, to the Refuse Enterprise Fund for the purchase of a refuse roll-on, roll-off hook truck. And then also for ordinance 1214, which is an ordinance of the Council of the City of Cordova, Alaska, amending Cordova Municipal Code Section 6.05.040 by removing the cost of business licenses from the city code and clarifying that those will now be found in the city fee schedule. So if there are any members of the public, of which none are here currently, but if anyone arrives that would like to comment on either of those ordinances, should we take a break?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get a break till a couple minutes before 7.
Could you guys maybe try talking in your mics a little closer, because I'm just barely hearing you.
Yeah, sorry about that, Tom.
That wasn't any better.
Megan's turning up the speakers. How do we sound now, Tom?
That's better. Thank you.
Thank you. For those online, we have Megan, Tony, and Duncan in the audience tonight. So far.
I might have riled enough of the public, that's showing.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
That's it though, I'm done, no more social media.
I was stressful.
Sorry, I was rooting you on my couch.
I don't know why it hit me, but I was just like, and then I did it on the couch, and I was like, oh no, it was so bad.
Steve's like, are you gonna say anything? And I said, oh, she said it all. She said it all. I don't need to say a word.
I was just like, I need to shout at people, you know, the room is empty.
Yeah. And it was put online.
It was.
Like throughout the process. Yeah.
We had a meeting every Wednesday for the entire month.
6 weeks. Yep, 6 weeks.
More than.
Casey,
He begged people, I know, and I wanted to say that too, but I didn't want to just stand it. Yeah.
Please, that was a
Yeah.
hard one.
Give us your
Yeah.
I was
And
itching, and then I read Kathy's and I was like,
Yeah.
Okay, good, we're good.
Yeah, we need to toss, so someone takes the next one.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask though, because I'm happy to go to the city's Facebook page and post the recap, yeah.
Yeah.
But. So.
Hey, ladies,
But
does anybody know my Bluetooth headphones won't work on the Zoom? Is there a reason for that? Is there something to flick or? Does
Have you
anybody
looked-
know?
To look at audio settings, click on the little triangle next to the microphone.
Say that again now?
Like, so are you on a computer or your phone?
I'm on my computer.
So there should be in the bottom left of your screen a microphone icon with a little triangle next to it.
Or you can write notes with me.
Uh,
Is it Zoom?
Yeah, there should be audio settings,
Yeah.
and you can specify
Which
device?
which headset or speakers.
well, it normally works. It just doesn't work when we get this Zoom meeting. I don't know if anybody else online is having that.
So you still have your Bluetooth on, Tom?
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess there's another button at the bottom of the screen along with like chat and participants and record, and there should be one that says settings. And then under there, maybe it's the three dots, I don't know exactly.
Could
what
be
it's
three
like.
dots. I don't know Zoom very well.
I think it
Do
depends
Teams.
what you're on. Also, sometimes if my phone Bluetooth is on, my headphone, like, sometimes I have to turn my phone's Bluetooth off
Yes,
to connect my headset to my computer.
yes, it might be that the device will only pair with one other device.
Right, mine will do both, yeah, so like I say, normally it'll work all the time except for on this Zoom. That's why I wonder if it's particular to it.
I don't know.
Oh, well.
Okay. I'll try and look a little bit when we do Zoom on Friday, at home and see what I can figure out for you.
Sometimes you have to reset, you have to identify the headset versus the microphone on your computer, but I don't know how you do that in Zoom. I have to do it on Teams.
For those online, Colin has also joined the room, but that's everybody.
I think that my home near mosquito lake would affect your property value enough to decrease the.
Sounds like paradise.
Yeah.
just thought it was an interesting conundrum since we're facing, we had just finished with our tax discussion and we are also doing a harbor upgrade.
Where was this published?
That one was, oh God, what was it? It's at the top.
There was a, I don't know if you had the Haynes, dock project today and then there's.
KTOO had a thing on, that's what I read that. This was in, if you just Google it, it comes up, because it's like an Alaska News thing.
That's where I got mine, was the public media.
Yeah, that's where this is from, yeah.
My phone says 7 o'clock, that says
But those
six
are always-
fifty-seven, and that says 6:58.
We average that.
To come back into public.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna come back into the public hearing for a minute. If anyone in the audience would like to speak on the ordinances, on the, agenda, you're welcome to. Doesn't look like it, so, with that, we'll adjourn the, public hearing of January 3rd. 7 o'clock. Okay. And now I'm going to call the regular city council meeting of January 3rd, 2024 to order. Let's begin with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Allison,
Here.
Tom Baylor,
Here.
Kathy Sherman,
Here.
Casey Kinsman is absent, Wendy Rainey.
Here.
Ann Schaefer,
Here.
Kristen Carpenter,
Here.
Ken Jones,
Here.
quorum of council.
I don't think I'm.
Is your speaker on?
Okay, approval of the irregular agenda. Would anyone like to move anything around? Okay. So is this, everyone in favor of the, agenda as written, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, disclosures of conflicts of interest and ex parte communications. Does anyone have anything to report? Here so. Can those of you online hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. So we'll move on to communications by and petitions from visitors. We don't have any guest speakers. We don't have any, would anyone in the audience like to comment on, agenda items? Doesn't look like it. Any chairpersons or representatives of boards and commissions? No student council report. And now that brings us to the approval of the consent calendar, which, tonight includes, per charter section 2.8 and Cordova Municipal Code 3.12.00, reparation of unexcused absence of Councilmember Casey Kinsman from the December 20 regular meeting. So to approve, what do we do for that one?
I can choose the calls.
Roll call? Okay.
Ann Schaefer,
Yes.
Tom Baylor,
Yes.
Kristen Carpenter,
Yes.
Kathy Sherman,
Yes.
she's absent, Ken Jones,
Yes.
Wendy Rainey.
Yes.
You're approved.
Okay, there are no minutes to approve in the packet or considerations of bids, proposals, or contracts. So that brings us to reports of officers. Mr. Mayor, do you have a report?
Yeah, find the mute button first. Yeah, I talked to Helen shortly after Christmas, sometime between Christmas and New Year's. And she thinks that she should be getting her walk-in papers from her rehab team on maybe the middle of January. She wasn't sure. she did have some, she was having a little bit of trouble um, on the phone discussing with me things, but sounded like she was much better than she has been in the past couple of months. So that was good. I told her take as much time as she needs, and we would be waiting for her. And I think she was concerned that she's been gone a fair bit now, but I think she's been in contact with Sam and the other team members there. So she said that she had discussed with Sam her likely return time, and so look forward to that in the next couple of weeks. But it was good to chat with Helen, and I don't have anything else to report.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions or comments for the mayor? Okay, thank you. So now we'll move on to city managers report.
Okay, so don't have a written report, but I do have a couple updates. So, Megan, Emily, Kathy and I are working on the, MOU for the Cordova Center, hoping to meet, face to face with Kathy next week and hammer that out. The lawyer confirmed that Sheridan,
Sam, is that the MOU with the chamber?
yes,
Okay,
sorry,
that's
yeah.
okay. Just heard my name, and I just said, what?
I didn't do that.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry, I'm sorry for that. So we, spent some time with the lawyer, talking about, Sheridan and the requirement to collect sales tax, and by our code, they are not required to collect sales tax. We're having some further discussions, could talk about it during the update of those exemptions. I also wanted to thank Lindsay Hammer and the Prince William Sound Prince William Sound Economic Development District. I wrote it down so I wouldn't say science right after Prince William Sound. For applying for and getting a grant that allows multiple places within the city to, go send employees to get CDLs. Huge for us. It was like 20 grand to send 2 people to get a CDL. So, that was great, and she also helped other local businesses with that. Working with Key Bank and Alaska Permanent Capital Management. I think we got all the forms together and signed and all the right numbers in the right places. We're also talking with them about a line of credit to help us through this time frame. We are waiting for reimbursement from ERA once we get a grant agreement in place. So we'll keep you updated on that and when and if that line of credit will work out with them, or if an NBA will have the documentation that you guys will need ordinance or whatever it's gonna take. And then we're just working on the CIP list for staff versus what's in the packet tonight. And that's, any questions?
Thank you, Sam. Any questions for Sam? Yes.
This is Kathy, I was just gonna add in that, I also met with some of the folks from the ski hill, and, we're working on, some potential avenues for them to partner with other entities who are nonprofit, 501c3s, and they can maybe potentially be their fiscal sponsor to apply for things. I've been talking to the community foundation, Alaska Community Foundation, and that's what Seward does for their ski club. There's some avenues, so looking into that, but I'm hoping that we can maybe find some partnerships for the ski hill so they can get funding from other sources as well for some other projects. And then the other thing we're working on right now, we should have it done by the end of the month, is just a history program that we did years ago at the museum. We're gonna update it and give it to Sheridan Ski Club, Alpine Ski Club, and they can use it on their website, and we can give it to the Alaska Ski group as well. So just trying to help them a little bit. So we're doing some good things.
Thank you. Anyone else, comments, questions for Sam? Anyone online? Do we have a South Harbor update?
Nothing significant from last time. Next meeting, I'll certainly have an update, open questions, of course, but, more demo starts tomorrow.
So for those online, Colin said he doesn't have a significant update, since our last meeting, but he's open for questions if anyone has any. Demo resumes tomorrow. Okay, move on to the city clerk's report. Tina, do you have anything?
Just, right now is the declaration of candidacy period is open, and we've had 2 people, declare. We have, Wendy, declared for Nancy O'Malley and Pete Hefner. For school board, for school board.
Awesome. Any questions, in person or online for, city clerk? Thank you to Wendy and Pete for throwing your hat in the ring already. We'll move on to correspondence. We have an email, one email that's in the packet. Any comments on correspondence?
I'd actually like to find out from Tony, when we started this project, you told me there was some space available in the other harbor. Does it not fit their vessel?
Yes, you're correct. The vessel is drafts a minimum of 10 feet.
Okay.
It's just a very big vessel, 66 feet long, 175,000 pounds. So, yeah, we are hauling them on the 11th of this month. We're hauling them off.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what they said they want to do.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks.
Okay, so we'll move on to ordinances and resolutions. We've got ordinance 1213, an ordinance of the city, an ordinance of the council of the city of Cordova, Alaska, authorizing the transfer of $132,233 from the general reserve fund, permanent fund, to the refuse enterprise fund for the purchase of a refuse roll-on, roll-off hook truck. And this is the second reading of this ordinance.
I move.
Councilmember Rainey.
Yeah,
Move
I
and,
just moved.
okay,
So, yeah,
Motion in a second.
something
Got
I
it.
need, and I haven't heard anything against it, so.
Thank you. Councilmember Sherman, would you like to speak to your second?
No, I think we have been well educated by staff that this is a need and no one was here to speak against it in any way, shape or form, so I'm in favor.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Carpenter, any comments?
Thank you.
Councilmember Baylor, any comments on this one?
I support it.
And Councilmember Jones?
No, I'll support it.
And I'm also in support. And since this is coming out of the permanent fund, we have to have a all 7 council members vote in support, or 6 council members and the mayor. So we only have 6 council members present at this meeting. So Mayor Allison, are you okay to participate in this vote?
Yes, makes sense. Loan us our own money, so that's good.
Great, thank you. Okay, we'll go to the vote. We'll do a roll call vote.
Kathy Sherman,
Yes.
this is on ordinance 1213. Tom Baylor,
Yes.
Ann Schaefer,
Yes.
Wendy Rainey,
Yes.
Ken Jones,
Yes.
Kristen Carpenter,
Yes.
Mayor Allison,
Yes.
7.
Great, great.
Ordinance passes.
Ordinance passes. So now we'll go to ordinance 1214. An ordinance of the council of the city of Cordova, Alaska, amending Cordova Municipal Code, section 6.05.040 by removing the cost of business licenses from the city code and clarifying that those will now be found in the city fee schedule. And this is also the second reading of this one.
Vice Mayor, so moved.
Moved,
I'll second.
seconded. Thank you. Councilmember Sherman, will you speak to your motion?
Sure, we talked about this at the first reading. It's a housekeeping item, and I like the fact that it's gonna be on the fee schedule rather than in code. So we all thought it was a good move.
Thank you. Councilmember Rainey?
What you said.
Got it. Anyone else want to speak? Okay, we'll, go to the vote on this one then.
Okay, on ordinance 1214, Wendy Rainey,
Yes.
Kristen Carpenter,
Yes.
Tom Baylor,
Yes,
Ken Jones,
Yes.
Lisa Kinsman is absent, Kathy Sherman,
Yes.
Ann Schaefer,
Yes.
ordinance passes 6-0.
All right. And now we're on to resolution 01-24-01, which is a resolution of the council of the city of Cordova, Alaska, designating capital improvement projects. Would anyone like to make motions? Councilmember Thurman.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 02, oops, wrong thing. 01, sorry, I turned the page too soon. 01-2401. Updating, it's regarding the capital improvement project list, and I'd like to bring it up to the table for discussion.
Great, thank you. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Sherman, would you like to speak to your motion?
Sure, I guess I'd call on our interim manager first. Sounds like she has some updates, and then I did some drafts too, so.
So I included the staff's recommendations, of which most of them are here. And I think, talking as a public works director, I would like to add to, instead of upgrade community water supply, maybe, feasibility study services and fire protective hydrants to outline areas, and then water distribution upgrades. I feel like that's a very high priority for us right now. It's a way to get more water out of Murchison tank when we need to, during low water, high ink salmon processing. Also, it could work with the Crater Lake siphon, and then eventually trying to figure out where more pack tank could be moved, not moved, replaced, get a bigger tank and put it in a better location that we own, so that we have that as a forever place. And also just got a master plan agreement for that, so we're gonna be pursuing these kind of distribution options. And I don't know if the harbor or Duncan would like to give some input.
Can we go?
Yeah, we can go my first.
Can we follow up on this first?
Yeah.
So, you wanna move, the feasibility study to the highest priority under water?
No, I want it to be the other way around. Water, I didn't put it because this said no prioritization, but if I was to prioritize it, I would put 2 as well, 1 is 2. And because right now in the actual resolution,
No, you just wanna switch around feasibility study services and fire protection, hydrants to outlying areas to number 2, and water distribution upgrades to number 1, correct?
yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
Do you want to speak to your second, or should I go through?
Go ahead, 'cause I'm still trying to.
Councilmember Carpenter, right?
Lost you halfway through that. So, yeah, I think, my question is about the whole, what are we Cause we have, well, what are we discussing? Cause we have a resolution that we approved last February, so that's pages 12 and 13. There's the resolution on page 11 that's proposed for tonight, and then there's a different list on pages 14 and 15. And so I'm trying to figure out how do we,
Yeah, I got lost.
how do we combine all that? I mean,
So-
it looks to me like the resolution was written to be a little bit simpler because the list that we approved a year ago was pretty detailed. I'm not positive, but that's one thing that came to mind. And then I thought, well, maybe staff looked at the detailed list and said, okay, things have shifted a little bit since we approved the detailed list, and so this is how we would rejigger it a little bit on pages 14 and 15, but I don't know, I did see something in the packet that said approve the resolution as it's written and then modify it. Is that,
Motion and then we'll move to amend.
I mean, I'm asking, is that what we should be doing? I mean, are we trying to amend the list that's on page 11 to be more detailed, like what's on 14 and 15?
That's what I would like to do.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry. And what I did was I went back through this list on page 12 and 13 today and looked at the staff's list that weren't prioritized, and then there are things that are on this detailed list that can be removed, like the South Harbor replacement, the rebuilding of the three-stage dock, the replacement of the pool liner can be removed. And then regarding what Sam had suggested, you know, I just took the detailed list and prioritized it,
Pages 14 and 15,
12 and 13.
which is the old.
I took 12 and 13.
The old one.
That's the old one,
Right,
yeah.
redid it with the staff's recommendations and have a new detailed list. And I think it would behoove us to put the detailed list on our CIP list, because then people can see there's a rhyme and reason to our thought process, and that we are also eliminating things from our list as we go through too. I think it's an important document.
Well, would it be, I mean, you have your list, but we don't all have it. I'm wondering if we could take a short recess and have Tina make copies of it, so we're all looking at your proposal?
Sure.
Or, that makes sense, but I was trying to think of that most, well, except Tom and Kenny.
We can email it to them. I did this morning and I didn't think about distributing it. I apologize.
No, that's right, I just thought it would be easier, because it sounds like you were pretty methodical about it, so.
I guess I have a question for city manager. Was there, because last year we did kind of get away from how we've done it in the past, and we made that really more detailed list. And so I was wondering if there was a reason that we've gone back to the broader,
I guess.
smaller, like less detailed list this year versus I just didn't know if there was a thought process behind or purpose, reason.
No, because I'm not really sure, I think I must have gotten confused,
Okay,
because I thought that shortened list was what was approved in 23. So I got confused,
okay, yeah,
so it's my fault,
oh, that's okay.
Well,
so we should just probably go back to the.
I guess I can't remember I mean, we approved this other resolution as well, so the detailed one.
Does this have to get voted on tonight, or can we get this clarified up and maybe in the next packet?
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, because I think maybe taking the detailed list from last year, updating it with what's been done, and then what the staff has deemed priorities, incorporating that into the detailed list, and then from there, we can go through and prioritize more.
Yeah. I think that would be great, and I think, if staff has comments on these, I did talk to some staff and asked things like the replacement of the playground equipment at Mill Palace Park, you know, that's around $15,000, give or take. But that might be a local fundraising project rather than on the CIP list. I mean, that might be something we could find other sources of funding for. There were a couple of things like that I had questions about, but I didn't get all my answers to, so.
And then the stuff that's on this list is integrated with the staff recommendations, because I know that mile 4 substation still needs to be repaired.
It's fun, that is funded through the last year's CIP list. There's $150,000 sitting for that.
But does that stay on the list until it's done?
You could,
Because I don't want to see it come off the list until we have money in hand and we started.
we have money in hand because it's that ARPA money,
Okay.
the CIP.
But let's leave it on there until the work gets started being done, just because I think that looks better for transparency.
Okay.
If we pull it now, people are gonna wait and be like, whoa. What's going on?
Yeah, I guess this is for,
This is what
This
we
is for
take for legislators and what we wanna get funded.
But it's also a good guiding document for us as well to remember, what needs to be done.
Yeah, that's kind of that's what I was looking at it for, just a reminder for us.
We also have our capital improvement projects and budget that we go through each year as well.
we've been working on that, trying to do that for the next. So maybe it'd be good to do them all at the same time.
So does it make sense to refer this back to staff for the updates that we've
Yeah.
talked about, and then we can, go over this at a future meeting? So can I hear a motion?
Sure, Vice Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to refer, refer the CIP list back to staff, kindly refer it back to staff. And we can all throw in our 2 cents before the next meeting packet is completed.
And I did send it by email.
So I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, would you like to speak to the motions, or we covered it?
No.
Time.
No, I think this is a really good process, so I hope that everybody will take a little bit of time and look at it and ask any questions, because you'll see in my notes when you get them, that there were some projects on there I was looking for cost on, and so that would be nice to have costs associated, if we can, because some we can't, but.
Ready, person.
Councilmember Rainey, would you like to speak to your second?
No, I just want to do some follow-up with, I haven't had an opportunity to talk to staff about some of the projects and see, well, compare it to their staff list and see where we're at with what they're thinking.
Anybody online have comments?
Call for the question.
All right, we will call for the question on referring to staff.
So what do we do with the first one?
They were,
I think the motion on the table right now is to refer it to staff. So should we just do a voice vote? Okay, so all in favor of referring resolution 01-24-01 to staff, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion passes. We'll, follow up with that one at a future meeting. There's no unfinished business. We've got our new and miscellaneous business, which is the pending agenda, CIP list, calendar, elected and appointed officials list. Does anyone want to talk about, want to talk about anything on the pending agenda?
I'd like to get an update on our investment funds there on the next meeting, perhaps. See what's going on. Is that moving forward?
Okay, I'm working with them, but I got paperwork in the last 2 days and last week, so yeah, we should have a good handle on where we're at.
Yeah, that'd be great. Anyone else on the agenda? Okay. Any audience participation? No one's running to the microphone. Okay, we'll do council comments. Tom Baylor. Councilmember Baylor.
Oh, thanks for everybody being here. And if you could repeat the names that put in for the election, I didn't quite hear that. And otherwise, thanks everybody. Happy New Year.
Yeah, so, Pete Hefner put in for school board and Randy Rainey for council seat. I mean, let's see, are you,
I think
I mean,
Thank
those
you.
two, that's it.
Okay, Councilmember Sherman?
I was just gonna thank the mayor for reaching out to the city manager. It's good to hear she might have a release date, so thank you.
Councilmember Rainey?
Yeah, thanks for, the start of the CIP list, that's a process. And I appreciate the mayor reaching out to Helen also, so thank you.
Councilmember Carpenter?
Yeah, I was just gonna say thanks to Councilmember Sherman for taking on working through the capital improvement projects list. I think that will help our discussion, and thanks for bringing it forward. The city manager and
Councilmember Jones?
No comment.
Yeah, thank you to Pete and Wendy for throwing our names in the hat already. And I'd like to encourage anyone else who's interested, please run, or encourage your civic minded friends to run for any of the seats that are up. And Mayor Allison, do you have a comment?
No, I'm good. Thank you all for putting in your time. Thank you.
Okay, there's no executive session tonight, so can I have a motion to adjourn? Got a motion? Give a second? All right, adjourned.
On the record, but it was good.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes off the record.